Hey, top of the day to you. It's Saturday morning, April the 2nd. Did you have a good April Fool's Day? Any jokes pulled on you? Many years ago, I was listening to a radio station. On April Fool's Day, I was in my teens, man, so you got to give me a break here. And back then, there were still a couple of drive-in theaters around. And the rock radio station I was listening to, I was a kid. I still like classic rock. Some of this new stuff I don't care for too much. But the rock radio station said, hey, swing by their competitor's radio station to get a bumper sticker. Well, it wasn't really a competitor, direct competitor. It was a country and western station. And I thought, well, that's weird. Why would the country and western station be giving out bumper stickers for the rock station? But anyway, yeah, I did that. Then it dawned on me it's April Fool's. And there was no movie. You should have saw the look I got on the face of the person when I walked in and asked for a radio station bumper sticker from another radio station. Oh, how times have changed. We've gotten wiser over the years. It's Saturday, April 2nd. This is the FBTV Video Podcast, where YouTubing, live streaming on YouTube. This podcast, you can see it. We do it every Saturday morning at 9 A.M. We'll take the topic, and the topic today, every Saturday morning, it's Q&A day, and we got quite a few questions in here today. If you got a question for a Q&A day, Saturday morning podcast you like answered, well, let us know. You can leave a comment down below. If you're watching this live stream, obviously. You can email me, fbtv@freightbrokertv.com. There's forms on our website. You'll find our website at freightbrokertv.com. And you can even Skype us, FBTV. Just do a search for FBTV. Been raining all morning. A buddy of mine, my neighbor next door, he does a lot of fishing. He's in a tournament this morning down at a place called Sardis Lake. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours from here, where I'm at. 72 miles, but you got to go all back roads pretty much. Not a lot of, no interstate. But anyway, I'm sure he's getting wet, thinking about driving down there a little bit later, watch the weigh-in. But anyway, that's later on this afternoon. Q&A day, we do that every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Try to anyway, most Saturday mornings. Your questions, our answers. We're going to be talking about other things too. Also Wednesday, be looking for our podcast that we post. You'll find it on your favorite podcasting app, as well as this live stream video podcast. We'll take the audio and we will put it up as well. So it will be available on your favorite podcasting app too, just in case you missed the live stream. Now, for those of you that enjoyed the video, well, we are going to edit out the topics, the Q&A part of this live stream. And we will create its own standalone video for YouTube. Okay? And we'll have that posted here next day or two. Okay, now, we're going to be talking about this until May. CVSA Road Check 72-hour blitz coming up next month, folks. May 17th through 19th. Heed my advice. Go home. Take 3 days off. That's the 3 days off that save you a lot of headache. But you know that. Fuel prices down a little bit this week. Yeah, I saw in the news that Biden, I mean, every little bit helps, but you're talking about a country that uses 20 million a day, 20 million gallons. He's let it be known that he's going to release 1 million gallons a day for the next 6 months. And yeah, that's going to help, but he has no idea how it's going to help in the price of fuel. We just have to wait and see. But anything's better than what we're having to do now. Anything. I told you the other day I filled up my boat last weekend, week before, boat and my truck, my pickup, neither one of them were empty. It still cost me almost $130. It's expensive out there. Okay, today's impossible question. Here we go. People who make over $75,000 a year typically have 4 or more of these. The answer kind of threw me. I wasn't expecting this answer. People who make over $75,000 a year typically have 4 or more of these. 4 or more. Yeah, we'll get to that answer if I remember. FMCSA drops mandate that drivers report traffic violations to their employers. I know when I was driving, if you got a ticket or something like that, yeah, you had to let the company you were driving for know. FMCSA has amended its regulations to eliminate a requirement that interstate commercial motor vehicle drivers annually prepare and submit to their employers a list of their convictions for traffic violations and ordinances. Now, seems like when I was driving, we would, we could verbally tell them, or maybe I was doing it wrong. Wouldn't surprise me. Agency said it withdrew the requirement because it is largely duplicative of a separate mandate. The government being duplicative? No. Of a separate mandate that requires each motor carrier to make a motor vehicle records inquiry for each driver it employs from every state in which the driver holds or has held a CMV operator's license or permit. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but did they change the law saying you could have more than one CDL? Don't think so. I think I would have heard about that. Anyway, this requirement, which does not require checks for parking violations, will remain in effect, the agency said, effective May 9th. That's my mom's birthday. The FMCSA has added a requirement for carriers to also annually check traffic violations for drivers licensed by a foreign authority rather than by a state. So if you're employing out-of-country drivers, I guess, I don't know, I guess you got to contact that country's DMV or something. To each driver's licensing authority where a driver holds or has held a CMV operator's license or permit. This change requires motor carriers to request MBRs from Canadian and Mexican driver's licensing authorities. So just Mexican and Canadian. Carriers also must retain certification of no violations in a driver's qualification file. Now, if you are an owner-operator that has drivers, pay attention to that. The carrier also must retain certification of no violations in a driver's qualification file. So it's not enough you check. If somebody comes knocking at your door, you're going to have to prove. All right? Hey, it's the DOT. Matter of fact, if you are a new trucking company, you can expect to a visit of the DOT, compliance visits, twice in the first 18 months. First time they come in and tell you how they want it done. Second time they start giving tickets. Unless you really got it screwed up the first time. Anyway, the agency said it also amends the final rule to require a motor carrier to make an inquiry to each driver's licensing authority where the driver holds or has held a motor vehicle operator's license or permit during the preceding 3 years to obtain the driver's motor vehicle records when a carrier is hiring a driver. Phew. FMCSA changes the application for employment rule to require each driver to provide on the employment application the issuing driver's license authority of each unexpired CMV's operator's license or permit that has been issued to the driver. Again, isn't that the CDL? You can have more than one? I don't think so. All right, we talked a minute ago about the CVSA road check coming up May 17th through 19th. Well, Operation Safe Driver Week. Going to be coming up a couple of weeks after that, July 10th through 16th. What would that be, about 3 weeks later? Operation Safe Driver Week 2022 is scheduled for July 10th through 16th. The Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance announced the other day during the heightened enforcement operation, law enforcement will be issuing warnings and citations to commercial motor vehicles and passenger vehicle drivers engaging in unsafe driving behaviors, things they should be doing anyway. But they're just letting us know they're really going to be cracking down on it July 10th through 16th. Speeding, distracted driving, following too close, improper lane change, drunk or drug driving. Also I kind of expect left lane usage. Had to go over to Oklahoma yesterday to get some work done on my truck. My truck's backup camera. Well, when I put my boat in the shop last summer, they had it for about a month, lower unit, and my backup camera on my truck, it was like I could swear it was clear as a bell. I mean, just clear as a bell. But when I got my boat back, went to hook up, it seemed out of focus, blurry, fuzzy, just different. Well, I called the dealership, and they said bring it in. They look, and the guy said, look, I checked some of the ones on the lot, and they're all pretty much the same. I go, okay, maybe it's just me. Didn't think it was, but, it is what it is. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I get a call from the dealership saying, hey, my part's in. I go, what part? The part for your camera. I didn't know I was getting a part. But anyway, scheduled me in. I took it in yesterday. They put in a new camera, backup camera. And quite honestly, it seems worse than it was with the other backup camera. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. But this time, they even noticed it. Now they're contacting GM or Chevrolet, whoever, to find out what to do next because they're lost. They replaced the camera. The screen is still fuzzy and just out of focus or whatever. So I don't know. Anyway, if any of y'all have I got a Chevrolet, C71 Trail Boss. If any of y'all have been, if you got the same type truck, having issues with your backup camera, let me know. I'd like to know what's going on with yours. Same thing. Did you get it fixed? If you did, what was it? And you can email me. Email me at fbtv@freightbrokertv.com. All right. All right. What else is going on? Well, spot rates, flatbeds are up. We talked about that on Wednesday. Fuel's down for the most part, but not really. It's still too high. Not like it was a short 15, 16 months ago. And while we're talking about that, I told you Pisaki or whatever her name is, the person who holds those press conferences, press secretary, I guess would be your title. I told you a few weeks ago, look for her to be leaving. Just so much of, I don't know how she does it. I don't know how anybody could do that job. Get out there and just, the one that was filling in for her the other day, they got busted lying, the way I understand. I don't know the whole story, but Pisaki, or however you pronounce her name, yeah, it looks like she's going to be leaving next month, going to MSN, and she would not answer any questions about it yesterday. Having a birthday today? Well, you're in pretty good company. Walter Chrysler was born on this date back in 1875. Chrysler. Yeah. Connect the dots. Putty Epson. Holy smoke. He was born in this state back in 1908. Beverly Hillbillies, Barnaby Jones. He's been on a lot of stuff. Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars. Sir Alec Guinness was born in this state back in 1914. Jack Webb. Dun-da-da. Sergeant Joe Friday from Dragnet. Yeah, he was born in this state back in 1920. A pretty talented guy. I mean, he was who he was, man. He really liked the LAPD. But whenever he walked, well, I mean, he was straight and those shoulders were square. And Officer Joe Gannon, what was his name? Went on to play Colonel Potter in MASH. just totally opposites. You know, yeah, I remember watching going, you think they get along in real life? Because he seems, you know, Jack Webb was just staunch, man. Starch head to toe, and Gannon, Harry Morgan, that was his name. Harry Morgan just seemed like he could be a cut-up. And then some of the old movies I watched with Harry Morgan, he was a good actor. Then you saw him in MASH. But Linda Hunt, okay, if you don't know who she is, look up the name, Google it. NCIS Los Angeles, she plays Solo. Been in a lot of stuff. She's really fun to watch. She's good. I don't want to say comedic, but I love seeing her do comedic stuff. She's just a straight kind of comedic. I don't know. You just have to see. Okay, today in history, way back in history, 1792, Congress said, okay, U.S. Mint, you can start stamping coins. They established coin denominations. So I guess this is when the first penny. You don't see a lot. Well, I guess you do see a lot of pennies. But that's where it started, 1792. Old number 2 came around in 1827 for the first time. You know what I'm talking about? Number 2, pencil. Lead pencils manufactured by Joseph Dixon for the first time. This date back in 1827. 1954, plans to build Disneyland are announced. Boy, they're in some hot water down there, aren't they? Okay, in 1958, the NACA, NACA is renamed to NASA, NASA. I didn't even know what. I did not know that. Always been NASA to me. And while we're on the subject, 10 years later, this date back in 1968, 2001, A Space Odyssey opened in theaters. And who shot JR? Well, not on this date, back in 77, but Dallas premiered tonight, 1977. What is that, 45 years ago? On CBS TV. While we're on the subject of TV, you might want to know this. ABC has renewed The Rookie, The Good Doctor. CBS renews NCIS Los Angeles, and NCIS Hawaii. So if you're fans of those shows, you're good to go. Dr. Oz, a candidate for U.S. Senator and host for the long-running Dr. Oz show, was fired. I already got a letter asking for his resignation from the President's Council on Physical Fitness. Remember that in school? You get those little, you do the physical fitness test and get the little patches or whatever. Did that start with President Kennedy? Seems like way back when. Anyway, the Biden administration informed Dr. Oz in a second letter. Number 1 was asking for his resignation. But the second letter from the White House told him he was fired. You're fired. And the reason was because it is customary to replace the council with members who share the president's priorities. Obviously, Dr. Oz does, his priorities of lower inflation and lower fuel prices don't match that of Biden's. The only thing I can figure. All right. Q&A day here at FBTV Video Podcast. Streaming live on YouTube this morning. We do it every Saturday morning. My name is Mike. I'm your host. I'm also the lead consultant at Taltoa, TALTOA.com. If you're wondering what or who or where Taltoa is, well, Taltoa, you can find it at Taltoa, TALTOA.com. We are a transportation and logistics training and consulting firm focused on helping freight brokers, freight broker agents, trucking companies and such. We consult, help freight brokers get their brokerages started. If you're wanting to start a career in transportation as a freight broker agent, we can help you get started doing that. We have several different packages you can choose from. Matter of fact, maybe you've been a freight broker in the past, and now you're thinking about, hey, it'd be a good time to get back into it. But you're looking for something to maybe you don't need the full 10 yards, so to speak, 9 yards, so to speak. But you'd like to be able to get in there and maybe go over all the material, kind of a self-study thing, without the need for placement or whatever. Well, we got a self-study program too. It starts at $295. You can check that out. But we do have packages available that provide live or / on-demand in-depth training. Now, the live and the on-demand are pretty much identical, except one is live, the other is on-demand, meaning it's same information, same training, same homework, same everything. It's just with the live, you have an opportunity to ask questions while you're right there going through the training session. If you're doing the on-demand, well, you write the question down. Then you contact your assigned consultant, either email or call, and they can answer whatever question you may have. You're going to get hands-on with the different tools, programs, software that you'll be using when you begin your broker operation. In addition to that, if you want to start out as a freight broker agent, you have the opportunity to do so because our packages, our live training and consulting packages include guaranteed placement into our mentorship program. Once you complete the training, that allows you to start your broker operation as a freight broker agent through us under a licensed broker. Our licensed broker is our sister company, obviously, Tautoa Logistics. You're going to be working under their license, but it gives you the opportunity to begin your broker operation as a freight broker agent. And yeah, you do have the opportunity to earn money as well. Our standard commission for a freight broker agent is 60% of net. So net is the difference between what the customer paid to move the load and what you paid the truck. If you had a load and the customer was paying $2,000 and you found a truck and agreed to pay them $16, the net would be $400. Your commission, 60% of that $400, so you would have made $240 on that load. Matter of fact, we got a Q&A talking about commissions here in a minute. But the purpose of the mentorship program, you have to understand, building a successful freight brokerage is not something you do overnight. You don't start brokering tomorrow and start making money next week. It's a process. It's a process of building your customer base, working the loads, learning the loads, building a carrier following, working with trucking companies. These pieces have to fall into place, but once they do, life gets pretty nice. But anyway. Yeah, there are agents out there making 6-digit incomes. Don't think you're going to start doing that your first year. But the opportunity is there. The way I look at it, if that guy can make 6-digit income doing what I'm doing, why can't I? But anyway, your mentorship program is designed to allow you to the benefit of being able to start your broker operation, have us help you as far as overseeing what you're doing, making sure you're crossing the T's, dotting the I's and such. Gives you the opportunity to start building that customer base, gaining experience, so you can move on to either start your own brokerage or maybe move on and you want to contract to another broker direct. You're able to do that as well because you have experience. You have a book of business by that point. Anyway, check out our website, taltoa.com, TALTOA.com. If you have questions about any of the packages or any of our services, call me. Be happy to talk to you. 479-668-0838. All right, Q&A day. We do it every Saturday morning here on the FBTV Video Podcast that we stream live on YouTube. Larry writes, he wants to know, hey, is being a freight broker a lucrative business? Well, it can be, obviously. Is being a barber a lucrative business? Is being a tire shop a lucrative business? Is being a car salesman or a car lot? They all can be. It depends on your work, what you do, what you put into it. understand it's your business. Yes, it can be lucrative. Just like I said, agents, broker agents. There are broker agents out there that are making 6-digit incomes. Okay, let's say you're the broker and you got agents. And let's say those agents are on 60% contract, like I was talking about a moment ago. That's standard in the industry. You might find some companies that, have a little bit higher contract. Some maybe a little bit less. But I will tell you this, if anybody's offering a 40% contract, that's pretty much probably you're contracting to work as a sub-agent under a broker agent. It's legal, nothing wrong with it, but what it is, the broker agent that has contracted you to their agency, they're making 20% override over what you do. Okay, so keep that in mind. They're making 60%, they're paying you 40 of that 60. That makes sense. Anyway. But of course, okay, if you got agents, let's say you got 10 agents. You're the broker and you've got 10 agents. You're paying these agents 60%. Let's say each one of those agents, on average, are doing $2,000 a week in net. Okay, $2,000 a week, 60%, you're paying them $1,200. So you're making $800 profit per agent if you're the broker. If you got 10 agents, well, multiply that 800 by 10. You see what I mean? Yes, it can be a lucrative business. Now, some of you may, wow, that's a lot of money for her. Yes, it is. $8,000 a week off, the agent's work, but the broker is providing everything. As far as that goes, the back office, they're billing the customer, they're paying the truck, they're supporting you, they're paying for the insurances for their brokerage, they're paying for the bond. The $75,000 bond. They are keeping their authority, providing that, letting you work under their license. So and they're giving you more than half of the profit on every load. Yes, that's very fair, so keep that in mind. But Larry, I hope that kind of answers your question. Doing the right thing, it's not a stupid question by any means. Matter of fact, I tell all my clients there are no stupid questions. The only stupid question is the one that's not asked, and the one that's not asked is usually the one that comes back and bites you, costs you money. Okay, up next, Daryl. He said he wanted to add freight broker agents. Is there a standard contract, and also is 35% profit good salary for agents? Well, I assume you're talking about 35% commission. Of course not. That's terrible. Standard, 60%. I've talked to people that have this same ideology. 60%, that's nuts. That's way, I'm not paying you're not going to get any agents, or at least you're not going to get any agents that are going to be loyal to you and stay with you. Why should they? Yeah, you may get a new agent. They'll come in and work for you at 35%, get experience, build their book of business, and they may be pretty happy while they're with you until they find out they can make 60, 65, 70%, whatever, someplace else. Then they're gone. They will be gone. 35% is way too low. 50% would be the bottom line. 50, if you're the broker. All right, 50%. Now, if you are a broker agent and you're wanting to add sub-agents, 40%. But like I said a moment ago, you're getting 20% override. So if you had let's say you had $100 net, just using easy numbers. Okay, you as the broker agent would be paid your 60%, which would be $60. Well, if you had a sub-agent and they were on you agreed to pay them 40%, they would make 40% of that 100, not 40% of your 60, 40% of the 100, 40% of net. So they would make $40. You would pay them 40. So you would earn $20, your override. See what I mean? You would earn that extra 20 that would go in your pocket. Okay, John sent us a question. Which load board should I be using? Which load board should I be using? Well, John, there's a bunch of load boards out there. First thing I'm going to tell you, don't use a free load board. Stay away from them. The only exception to that might be 123 load board. I do recommend 123. Load board, 123 load board will allow you as a broker to get a posting account. That's fine. Now, if you want to be able to, do truck searches and stuff like that, I think you got to get a paid account. But, and I could be wrong about that, but when I'm talking about load boards, there are load boards all over the place that will let you access their load board at no charge. More times than not, these type of free load boards are used to gather your information so they can start trying to sell you something. To be honest with you, I've seen factoring companies in the past put up free load boards just so they could acquire your information and start trying to get you to purchase their factoring service, or use their factoring service, I should say. 3 load boards I recommend, obviously 123. Matter of fact, our clients, they go into the mentorship program, we recommend 123 to start, simply because, well, you have no business yet. You've not built a customer base. You don't have any loads. So, start out with a low overhead. DAT load board is going to be the one you want to aspire to. Well, they got 2 versions, I believe. Power is $235 a month. Matter of fact, that's the one we use in training at Tautoa for our clients. They have the DAT Express. I believe it's $139 a month. Subtle difference between the two. But when it comes to posting a lot of loads on a daily basis, that subtle difference becomes very, very important. The DAT Power allows you to roll over your loads. So let's say you got 100 loads posted today. End of the day, if you don't roll over those loads, you're going to have to repost all 100 or whatever you've got left tomorrow, plus your new loads. What you do with rollover, at the end of the day, you click a box, hit rollover, and now it changes everything to tomorrow's date. The DAT Express doesn't allow you to do that. Unless they've changed something on Express since the last time I looked. Now you've got to post it all over again. So subtle, but important. But anyway, start out with matter of fact, on our website, you can get DAT Power your first month, your first 30 days for free. But I recommend to my clients, you want to be posting 30 loads a day, where you wake up in the morning, your feet hit the ground, and you've got 30 loads to post that day. Now, the reason I recommend that is because if you're posting 30 loads a day, that's 150 a week, that's 600 loads a month. DAT will pay for itself, be it the 235 or the 139. See what I mean? DAT, it's been my experience, will make your phone ring. Now, when you're able to get at that point, that would be your primary load board, your number 1 load board. Your secondary would be 123 load board at that point, but when you get to a next level would be to add truckstop.com. Truckstop.com. It's a decent load board. It's not DAT by any means. Sometimes they think they are, but they're not. They got a long ways to go. They started out back in the 90s. Matter of fact, $25 a month. And then, I don't know, they went up a few years later to $35 a month, and they stayed at $35 until the last couple of years. Woke up one day and they were automatically $99 a month. It is what it is. The thing is, where you may be saying, well, why so many load boards? Why do I have to use 3? Why not 1 or whatever? Well, simply put, you don't know what load board a trucking company is using. They may be using one of those, a combination of those. They may be using all 3. Depends on the size of the trucking company. A smaller trucking company may be using just 1, 2, 3. Or maybe Internet Truck Stop. So by having all 3 load boards, at some point in the future, not immediately when you build up to it, you're going to have a better reach. You're going to have more access to trucks. More trucks are going to see your loads. Make sense? See what I mean? So keep that in mind. Good question. Okay, Sissy. The last question of our Q&A day here on this Saturday, April 2nd. Do companies use more than one freight broker? Yeah, more times than not. Absolutely. Okay. But that's not the point. It don't matter if they use 10. It's what you do with that customer. You know, I get that a lot. You know, well, is it saturated? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, there's a broker on every corner just about. But that broker on every corner, I would say 75% of them don't do what they should do to be successful. You got to pay attention to the details. You got to work your customer, build that relationship. They use more than one freight broker because it doesn't cost them anything. Now, that's hard to get your head wrapped around. A shipper, a customer that has freight to ship, they can use a freight broker at no charge. Free service. They can set up all the freight brokers they want to. No charge. Because the freight broker is making their money from what the customer is paying to move the load. It's not like they're going in saying, hey, for $1,000 a year, we'll help you get trucks. No. It's let us help you get trucks for free. Let us worry about how we make our money. You're not going to have to pay us for anything. That's not to say there's not times there's going to be negotiations and things like that, but it starts out the customer's telling you what they're paying. That's the number you have to work with. Okay? But yeah, it's not a big deal. It's when you start working with a customer as a broker, that's your foot in the door. Now that you have your foot in the door, well, you are part of their transportation team, meaning you have access to them whenever you want. And you're not going to be in the way because you're part of their team. That gives you the opportunity to start building that personal relationship that over time will turn into a positive business relationship. It's going to prove to that customer that you can give good customer service. You're going to take care of them. You're going to watch their back. You're paying attention. Details. See what I mean? All right, Sissy, I hope that helps you. All right, what else? Well, what am I doing today? I think we're going to take a road trip today. After a while, wife is wanting to go somewhere. Our anniversary is coming up, May 2nd. Funny how she scheduled that. Makes it after my birthday. I think she did it so she could remember the anniversary. Well, his birthday's but 25th. 25 years this woman has put up with me. I have no clue why. She's a good woman. Takes care of me. Anyway, let's see. What else we got going on here before we get out of here? All right. I don't know. I saw this and I thought, well, this is interesting. Never knew it was there. This is an iPhone. I don't want to call it a hack. It's been there. Just never knew it was there. It's an iPhone feature. If you got an iPhone, yeah, listen up. Tech Guru has shared a little known iPhone feature that can help calm down the stress for those suffering from tinnitus. I got that. Tinnitus, that's where you get that constant ringing in your ear. Mine came from years of being in radio. You go to concerts, backstage, no earplugs, loud. But anyway, I don't know when it started, just I know it's there. Sometimes not as bad as other times, but it is what it is. But noise, I've heard like turning on water faucet, and it's true. You turn on the water faucet, it's not there anymore. It's just the sound from the water coming out of the faucet muffles it. You don't hear it because you hear the water. But if you got one of those machines to help you go to sleep, like rain falling or thunderstorms or wind or whatever, actually the iPhone's got that thing built into it. Don't know it. Now, if you want to check it out, you can turn it on whenever you want. Turn on the feature. You have to open up the Settings app. Then go to Accessibility. Scroll down to Audio/Visual. Then tap Background Sounds. There you'll be able to turn on the feature and select what type of sound you would like. Options include ocean, rain, and stream, a brook, And I was skeptical, and I took my iPhone and I found it, and it was there. Should I do it? Let's see. Let's. I didn't turn it on, so I don't know if I'm going to be right turning it on. But let's see. Accessibility. All right. Then what did it say? Visual. Audio, visual. Background sounds. Oh. That is. That. Can you hear that? That's supposed to be rain. Hold on a minute. Let's change that. Ocean. It sounds like rain with a lot more bass. And a stream. Stream sounds right. Then we got dark noise, bright noise, balanced noise. All right. It's there. Maybe. Hey, if it works for you, it works for you. I listen to podcasts. I put my little earbud in and turn on the podcast. I listen to the Robertsons. Jace Robertson, by the way. If you pay attention to Unashamed podcast they got, you can see it on YouTube, but it's downloadable too. I mean, your favorite podcasting app. But Jace has been filming a new TV show. It's going to be coming out here for too long. They said the name of it the other day. They finally released it, but I don't remember what it was. But be looking for that. He's got his metal detector going out finding all kinds of treasure. All right, what else? Anything else we need? Now this was cool. I came across this morning. Shorthanded school cafeteria manager called into BBC Radio 2 talk show asking for help in her kitchen, and everyone freaked out by what happened. All right. Tina Clark had been listening to celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay talk about his latest TV show, Future Food Stars. Tina told the host that she was cooking on her own at Edward Peak Middle School. One of her cooks was out sick, and the alternative staff member, the filling cook, was unavailable because he tested positive for COVID. Tongue-in-cheek, she asked Ramsay to come and help her in the kitchen later that day. Well, he couldn't, but by golly, he sent one of his chefs to help out. Isn't that cool? All right, today's impossible question. People who make over $75,000 a year typically have 4 or more of these. What do you think? Excuse me. People who make over $75,000 a year typically have 4 or more of these. What do you think it is? Watches. Watches. I got one watch. It's a dive watch. I'm a scuba diver. And I used to go through dive watches all the time. I came across this. What is it? Seiko? Anyway, it's one of those that never needs winding. And I've had that thing forever now. And I have no need for 3 more watches. I guess those people are the highfalutin types. They got a watch for work, a watch for Sunday go to meeting, a watch for going out to the club, a watch for going out on a date or whatever. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, we'll be back Wednesday with another podcast. We're posting new videos up on YouTube every Monday through Friday. Matter of fact, if you missed, if you missed a live stream, but you're hearing the audio podcast, you can check out the YouTube video. We'll have the video of the Q&A that we talked about today if you want to watch it. But anyway, listen, go have a good weekend. It's Saturday morning. Have a good weekend, unless, of course, you've made other plans. We will talk soon.